Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into the sources you sent over about a pretty striking recent IPO.
That's right.
Our mission, as always, is to really dig into the material you provided. This time it's about the Chinese camera maker Insta360, its public debut, and, well, how its founder became a billionaire almost overnight.
Yeah, quite the headline.
Exactly. So if you're watching the investment scene, tracking, the creator economy, or just keeping tabs on global tech moves, this one's definitely for you. We'll pull out the key details the source highlights.
And just to be clear, our source is essentially a YouTube video excerpt based on Forbes reporting that you shared. We're sticking strictly to the facts presented there, just distilling what that material says.
Perfect. Okay, let's unpack this then, starting with the IPO itself. That really made a splash, didn't it?
It certainly did. According to the source material, shares of Insta360 nearly quadrupled when they debuted on the Shanghai Stock Exchange.
Quadrupled. Wow.
Yeah, a huge jump. The source reports the company it trades as Arashi Vision is now valued at roughly 71 billion yuan.
Okay, 71 billion yuan. What's that in US dollars?
That translates to about 9.9 billion USD, give or take.
Nearly $10 billion. And the source really highlighted the impact on the founder, didn't it?
It did. This IPO apparently made the 33-year-old founder, Lu Jingkang, an instant billionaire.
Just like that.
Well, based on his stake, the source says around 26.8%, plus another 8% held by his wife Forbes, estimated his net worth from just this at $2.7 billion. He started the company back in 2015, right out of university, the source notes.
Incredible. And they raised a good amount of capital, too.
Yes, 1.94 billion yuan, which is about $270 million USD. The source specifies this listing was on the Shanghai Stock Exchange's Science and Technology Innovation Board, the STAR market.
Right, the STAR market.
And reportedly, it was the largest listing on that particular market this year. The source also mentions the plan for those funds, mainly R&D, future research and development.
Okay, R&D focus makes sense. What about their performance leading up to this? Does the source give financials?
It does provide some key numbers for 2023. Insta360 apparently hit 5.66 billion yuan in revenue,
Which is?
about $779.9 million USD. And that was up a pretty strong 53.3% year over year.
Okay, solid revenue growth. And profits.
Profits grew too, hitting 994.7 million yuan. That's up 19.9%.
So strong top-line growth, but profit growth, while still good, is lagging behind revenue growth quite a bit.
Yeah, which, like you said, isn't too unusual for companies investing heavily. Could tie back into that R&D spend the source mentioned.
Makes sense. And this growth, the source suggests, is coming from where? Both China and internationally.
Exactly. Strong domestic sales, but also, crucially, significant international expansion seems to be fueling it, according to the source.
How significant are we talking internationally?
Well, get this. The source states that a striking 76% of Insta360's revenue last year came from overseas sales.
76%? Wow.
Yeah. It even specifies $1.3 billion in sales just from the U.S. alone.
Okay, so a huge reliance on international markets then, based on that source data.
It really seems like it. The source also notes they have about 2,000 employees globally. Offices in China, yes, but also the U.S., Japan, and Germany.
And who backed them before the IPO? Any names mentioned?
A few notable ones, yeah. The source mentions King Venture Partners, IDG Capital, NASDAQ Q-listed GeneLight, and also Suning Holdings Group, the big Chinese retailer. Plus a $30 million funding round back in 2019 involving other Chinese firms.
So well connected. And the source positions their success within the whole.
The creator economy boon, exactly. Offering products like, their 360-degree action cameras, those compact, lightweight ones, really geared towards content creation.
And they have competition in that space.
Oh, yeah. The source explicitly mentions competitors like GoPro and DJI. DJI also sells action cams besides drones.
Right, but it's not all smooth sailing, is it? Does the source mention any potential headwinds?
It does touch on that. While highlighting the growth, it also points to potential threats from, the U.S.-China trade situation.
Huh.
The source says the company itself noted increased uncertainty for its overseas business because of the White House's stance on tariffs. Kind of complicates that 76% overseas revenue figure, potentially.
Definitely something to watch. Anything else?
Yes. There's also mention of a complaint filed by GoPro against Insta360, alleged patent infringement. It's currently under investigation by the U.S. International Trade Commission, the USITC. That's a regulatory body dealing with trade disputes.
Okay, so a patent issue in the mix, too. Right, so bringing this all together, what does this mean for you, the listener, trying to understand this company in space based on this source?
Well, the source essentially paints this picture.
Mm.
You've got a company that achieved a really successful IPO. It's showing rapid growth, especially driven by overseas sales, and it has some significant investors behind it.
My.
But crucially, the source also flags potential challenges. Things like those trade tensions we mentioned, direct competition, and that specific patent dispute with GoPro. It's all laid out in the material.
It's certainly a fascinating snapshot, isn't it? A company really riding that creator economy wave.
Absolutely. And thinking about only the information presented in the source, it does raise a question, doesn't it?
Which is?
Given everything the source laid out, the big IPO splash, yes, but also that heavy reliance on international markets, particularly the U.S., plus the noted challenges like trade friction and that ongoing patent investigation. How might these specific external factors actually shape Insta360's path and maybe its valuation in the next few years? Beyond just this initial IPO success reported here, it's something to consider based solely on what the source provided.